Ben, you brought up a stat the other day about the Patriots that I think bears repeating because it's been kind of kicking around in the back of my head for a little while. Net yards per attempt. Why is that such an important stat for you?
Well, it's a better indicator. It's a more robust stat.
And this is on defenses, by the way.
Right, defenses. And the reason net yards per attempt and on a per-play basis, those kinds of things, are better indicators of what a defense does is because different styles of defense lend to different numbers. If you're a bend-don't-break defense, you probably allow a lot of yardage because that's the point. And then you don't break in the red zone and you only give up a field goal, so you give up fewer points. That's why the NFL's rankings by pure raw yardage allowed, I think, is honestly bad. It's a poor indicator of how good a defense really is. Net yards per attempt really gives you a better indicator of what that defense is doing every play. And I think that it is adjusted net yards per attempt for a quarterback is probably one of the most accurate stats in regard to correlation between winning percentage for a football team. So just a little tidbit, a little side bet out there. But
you pointed something out about the Patriots.
Right. The Patriots are a good team in stopping the run. But in terms of stopping the pass, they're not very good this year.
Fourth worst in the league.
That's gotten worse since because they were sixth worst.
Yep. They are fourth worst in the league in net yards per attempt.
That is atrociously bad. They're a bottom 5 football team, net yards per attempt through the air.
Well, look at the teams that are with them. Jacksonville, Atlanta, New York Jets.
And Miami.
And Miami actually improved just slightly, but they just beat the doors off the 49ers.
Right. They beat the Niners who couldn't throw the ball in that game, and that skewed the number a little bit.
Yeah, they're 9th now.
Right. So it's, that's what I'm saying. Like the Dolphins were worst last week. As the sample size gets larger, it'll get more accurate. But, that's one of those things. New England is not a good football team at stopping the pass. They just aren't this year. That's not to say they don't have good players. Stephon Gilmore's a great player. They've got some great players. They're not good. They're not really generating much of a pass rush. Chase Winovich is by far their best pass rusher. Outside of that, they are not generating much of a pass rush. And so if you can stop Winovich, and if I'm the Broncos, I'm chipping to his side. He's going to be lined up on Garrett Bowles, and I'm setting the back out to his side, check and release. Take that away. Now all of a sudden you bought Drew Lock time to throw the ball, and they're already not good at stopping the pass. You might be onto something here.
So the Patriots are fourth worst. The Broncos are fourth best in the league at net yards per attempt. How about that? They are up there with the LA Rams, the Indianapolis Colts, who've been playing really good defense. Say what you want about Phillip Rivers throwing interceptions. They've been a good defense. The Chicago Bears, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Baltimore Ravens. Those are the top 6, and the Broncos are fourth best. Mm-hmm. So the Patriots are fourth worst. The Broncos are fourth best. What does that tell you?
It tells me that the Denver Broncos are actually better at stopping the pass than people think. I don't think their pass rush has gotten home as much as it should have, but we did see it start to do that a little bit against the Jets. It tells me that the Broncos have a little bit of an advantage in this game when it comes to airing it out. So I feel like if you can get a lead quickly and you can change the dynamic of what the Patriots want to do, this game could spiral out of control for them. What you can't have happen is allowing New England to establish dominance on the ground in this game early, and then make them, allow them to be multidimensional against you, then you get behind, and they can become teeing off on you because you've become one-dimensional. I really do think that this game is going to be closer than people think, and I think the Broncos have a shot. This is not some kind of orange-colored glasses or orange-blue Kool-Aid or carrying water or whatever this is. I when I'm talking about this stuff, I've got actual skin in the game. I've got money on the line, and so I'm speaking with my wallet.
Definitely. Anyways, I thought those were kind of interesting stats. And like I said, your net yards per attempt has been kind of bouncing around in my head a little bit. Mm-hmm. I wanted to kind of do a deeper dive. And when I looked at it, saw the Patriots where they ranked, which was worst 4 in the league, and then saw the Broncos were fourth best. It's something that you need the Broncos to be able to lean on. I think oftentimes with the Broncos, we get into these a little bit nebulous conversations on what are you good at? What are you doing well when you're a 1-3 team? Mm-hmm. And it seems like you're struggling with consistency. Those are things that you're building consistency around those kinds of things. Your passing defense, your rushing defense. And when you can build on those things, we've seen the Broncos sustain and at least be competitive in games when they have a defense that is playing at least at a in this case, top 5 in several categories. That gives that time to the offense. This very easily against the Patriots can be a fourth quarter game. It's very easily can be a fourth quarter game, and at least that's something that you want to build on because there are people predicting that, like you mentioned, the line. It's 9.
9.5.
Yeah, people are expecting the Broncos to get their doors blown off here.
Right.
But I'm thinking this is going to be probably lower scoring than most people expect, and I expect the Broncos to be in it in the fourth quarter, which at least gives them a shot.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think this is a great matchup on defensively for the Broncos corners. I think the X factor is the Cam Newton and the scramble ability and playing contain. I really do feel like that's the X factor in this game because if you can keep Cam bottled up in terms of his ability to run, I think this is a great matchup for these corners on these receivers. They don't have a threat at tight end. They don't. So the question mark becomes, can you contain the running game and the extension of the running game, the swing passes? If you can do that, you can beat this football team. You know, this isn't a Tom Brady-led New England Patriots team. It's a lot different animal.